Hello, hello, hello. Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello, hello. Sound check, sound check, sound check.
Mic check, mic check.
Okay,
Bumpy.
so we're gonna go top-down introductions again,
Top
and
down.
also it is opportunity for mic check, so if someone's audio sounds off, please let us know.
It's really funny that you say top down when we're like all sitting on the same horizontal plane.
I mean, in Discord, obviously.
Yeah,
Oh,
dumbass.
wait,
Yeah,
that means I'm
idiot.
always the first one because I'm always stream. Okay. And
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
Hello, hello everyone. I am Kagura, also Key, a part of CHALKEY. Yaha. Yeah, we made the diagnosis. Isn't that crazy? So that's why we're here. Yay. All right, Andrew.
Hello, I'm Andrew, also known as Blue. I co-wrote the diagnosis, and by co-wrote, I mean Kagura stole this riff from me.
What? I asked very nicely.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
Oh, what?
That's crazy.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
All right, next up, Blake.
Yo, you know what the fuck it is? My name is New Arcs. I did the mixing for the diagnosis and the rest of the EP.
Yeah.
I've been in the past 2 streams.
Yeah, sir. Technically 3, but we don't talk about
Oh,
that
yeah.
stream.
Yeah, the
Why did
past
you
2.
talk about it?
What do you mean? I didn't talk about anything.
Hello everyone, I'm Lorian, also known as Chalk, and I wrote some parts of the diagnosis.
Wahoo! Yay! Pachi.
Pachi.
Yeah.
I was gonna
That's-
ask you what parts you wrote, but I guess we'll find out together in the stream.
Yeah.
'Cause I actually don't know.
Exactly. It's gonna be fun.
Exactly.
This
Let's
is.
start from the beginning.
Yeah. Let's start from the beginning.
This is one of,
How
this is one of
did
the few
this song
times-
start?
This is one of the few times where I wasn't actually involved in the beginning.
Yeah. How did
So you
this
tell the
start?
story.
Okay, all right. So how it started was I think Andrew posted a riff on Twitter, and I was like, "Yo, this is dope." And then Andrew was
So
like,
you did steal it from Andrew.
"Well, I
That is
asked."
actually not right.
No, did you send it to me first, and then you posted the video?
So I was in China, the good motherland, for a good month, no guitar, and this was the first riff I made when I came back. And
Bloom
it
says
was
Lorian's a little low.
Okay.
it was
turned
gonna
myself
go
up.
onto a sample pack that I
Mhm.
was gonna release.
Mhm.
So sample pack 1 of 3.
Mhm.
But I sent this riff to Kagura. I'm like, hey, do you want it? If you don't want it, it's going on the sample pack. And you know, he stole it.
You
Stole it.
gave
You
So you did
offered
steal
it. You offered it up to me, and now you're telling that I stole it, bruh.
I can't believe you're a thief.
Oh
You gave it a
my
forever home.
God. I gave it a forever home. Yeah, I built a nice little home for it, decorated
Yeah.
it, you know.
It was going to be euthanized and sent to the sample packs.
Sent to
but
the sample
instead
pack
you
hell.
Nurtured it and
Of
gave it a
which
nice home.
I also used Andrew's sample pack to promo it. So I made like a little something with that sample pack as well.
Ah.
Yeah, because I always think it's fun. Like whenever like one of our friends releases a sample pack, I'm like, all right, let's dig through. Like let's make something with this. But yeah, wow, that was so long ago, huh? Your trip to China and then you being like, no guitar. And then it was one of those things where when I got the riff and I heard it, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And especially coming from like someone who hasn't played the guitar in like what, 1 or 2 months, you said? And just coming back with like a math rock riff. It's like insane. I'm just glad that it was mostly in 4/4.
So like the video I posted, or like here, let me just send it. This is the video I posted.
All right. If you send it
Afterwards,
I will...
when you did the little demo thingy, when I posted on TikTok,
Yeah.
the caption, what was it? It was like the first riff I wrote 1 month off guitar.
Yeah.
Fucking dumbasses, little shits being on TikTok. They thought it was of guitar, so I had a lot of comments that were like, "No way, you were only playing for 1 month." Like,
Oh yeah, that's really funny. I remember looking through those comments. But if you guys are curious, this is the video. These are the videos that we had here. So hell yeah, this is Andrew's.
Sounds good. That's really good.
Yeah. You make it look so easy. You just like your fingers are just
go
gliding on the
floating.
fingerboard. Yeah. Just like
floating over
the
it.
song is in the song's in what FACGCE, which is like very common math rock tuning. I have my keyboard.
one of your whack ass tunings like yeah man.
Yeah, you listen to like
Yeah.
Covet or whatever. They use this whole thing.
I see. Oh, Covet, Yvette Young? Oh right,
Yeah.
she does use that. Because she's a pianist, right? And it helps her think better in the fretboard or something.
I don't know.
Oh, I struggle with that tuning.
Just making stuff up.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
You heard it here first, folks.
Information.
Make sure to credit Kagura for that.
Yeah.
Teehee. But yeah, after I got that riff, I so convenient to have this like retweeted underneath. But I just took it, I spliced it up, and then I was like, okay, it literally stayed unchanged, or at least the intro. Well, most of it, I think.
Oh, time issue.
Oops. Teehee. Yeah.
That's why we recorded it when the time came.
Yeah. I mean, I think it still sounded pretty good.
Nah, it bothered me. Yeah, and then I think originally when you
Yeah.
one of the final demos, you had this heavy part so clean, and I said it
Oh.
sounded heavy lead.
Yeah, that was just a pure mistake on my end because I just didn't have Archetype Plenty turned on somewhere. It was really funny, and I just rendered it, and I was like, "This is fine." Well, I was going through it, but yeah, so that's just kind of how it started, and I sat on it for a little bit, and at the time we were like, okay, we could like release this with just like as like a Kagu and Andrew song as I like developed it more maybe. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, actually, I think this like because we had already been talking about EP2 at that point with Lorian. So I was like, I think this would be really cool for like a Chalky song, and it would be, I mean, kind of bringing Andrew over from That's So Crazy, because Andrew, I commissioned Andrew for That's So Crazy, the guitars on That's So Crazy, so it'd be a nice like continuation of that like partnership here. So yeah, pitched it to Lorian. Lorian was like, okay, cool, and then so yeah. we got it, and then we got it on EP2, and then I sat on it for like I don't know, like 4, 5, 6, 7 months until I actually got like the full structure that we all know and love. That is this right here.
What's that?
These are all the project, the Diagnosis project, and a lot of it honestly is Andrew carrying a lot of like the guitar layers here.
There are so many. Yeah.
There are so many guitar layers, but they're really good.
Honestly, kind of cool how simple this song is.
Yeah. Something again, something like, the overall, I think, production philosophy was trying to just not overcomplicate too much while still trying to keep that like sense of like a spectacle, I guess. Not really spectacle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the wrong word for it. But like obviously we still wanted to make it sound interesting, but in the like the foundation of it, I think in terms of like outside of the guitars, the foundation of the song minus the guitars is very, very simple. Like it's just like a simple chord progression through and through, and I think that helps the guitar like riffs stand out that much more. If the rest of the production is kind of taking like a little bit of like a backseat essentially. Yeah. So we have a couple of layers up here. Actually, do we want to talk about like the project itself, like the production side of it first, or do we want to go into like how we eventually moved to write the song.
Which one would you think make more sense?
I
Did
think
you make production changes based on the top line?
I didn't know. Not really, but I
Then I
think
don't think it matters. I think since if you're on the project, you might as well just talk about it.
okay. So we have the layers that Andrew re-recorded, and we can go through them real quick. Like these are just with Andrew's tone because Andrew would ship them dry to me, and then I'd like put them in archetype plenty, and then I wouldn't know what I'm doing, so Andrew just eventually gave me the wet stems. They worked out really
Yeah,
well.
whenever I asked Andrew for dry stems, I can never get the tone the same as him. So I just use his wet stems all the time now.
Yeah.
He just gets it.
Yeah. Um but I'm trying to think. Having a brain fart. I didn't do a lot, honestly, to edit any of Andrew's guitars in the production. Aside from some of these layers where it's like, oh, there's like a reverse going on here. Just because I thought that would
And
be really cool.
that should be from the old recording.
Yeah, just because I like the clean tone of it. And I think some part of me was also like sentimental of like the original recording, so you know I just left it in there and hope nobody noticed.
Why do you guys do that?
Yeah, you know, you have like it's like attachment to your like work and stuff, you know, you kind of like start to give
No, I
it.
know, but it's just putting things in and hope nobody notices. What do you mean you hope nobody notices?
It's like one of those
Hey,
things where it's
wasn't
like
that
that's
the
for
first
me.
recording of the guitars?
Shit, how'd they find out? So I think I'll cover more of like what I produce, and I'll let Andrew cover his guitars. But all I really did on top of the guitars was these drums and the piano, which, you know, as everybody knows, is kind of like my specialty at this point. And really the thought behind these pianos was just keeping like a rhythm and just kind of like finding more things to like anchor the rest of the song in, so that like the riffs can stand out more. So like even the bass is just like, the bass was something that we tweaked on later on to give more life, because before it was just like, oh, it's just doing the root notes and just going like burr 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 burr, and that's it.
Wait, that's so funny because those pianos aren't in the song.
What?
They're not. Those pianos aren't in the song.
They're not?
No,
You're lying.
no, you took them out.
I did I did what?
No, you took them out. The piano track is just the plinky one.
The plinking one?
Yeah.
The one that's an octave higher.
This one?
It's just the top layer.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They're not in the song.
Oh, no way. What? So I've been imagining them this entire time?
Yeah,
What?
they're not in there.
I did not notice that section didn't sound the same.
I just kept hearing them.
What do you mean you just kept hearing it?
Yeah, that's wow.
Oh, I'm crying.
Phantom
I was actually
hearing.
wondering because I
Yeah.
remember when I was editing the trailer and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used that section of the music and I was
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, they changed this. This sounds different, but cool.
Wait.
That was so funny.
Why is it not? Why
You're
can't-
really double checking.
I
They're
swear.
not in there.
I'm wow.
I mean, dude, at least do on Spotify.
You'll see in the project.
Stream.
Oh. Wow, yeah, they're not there. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, my brain really just imagined them there. Wow, that's impressed. I'm like just impressed by myself. Like how did that happen? Oh my god.
I thought that was intentional.
Yeah, me too. I had no idea.
Oh wow.
Time
Okay.
for the remastered version to come
The
out.
remaster. No, actually, I think like honestly, if the pianos were there, it would have been too muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it probably worked out at the end of the day. Teehee. um.
Yeah,
It's also
Kagu's
why
crazy. He's like inventing parts that weren't in the song actually.
That's what were you gonna say, Andrew?
I ended up like adding those backing guitars.
Ri- Oh.
Oh, so that went back all the way to like when Andrew was recording guitars.
Yeah,
It's
Oh.
so funny.
like the part was just very
Too
empty.
empty. Oh my god. That's
That's so
that
funny.
is yeah. Oh,
That's
wow.
hilarious.
That totally intentional, guys. Totally intentional. So
No, that was a happy accident, I think.
yeah, very happy
Honestly.
asking, honestly. Thank you, Andrew, for picking up where I put down. I'm actually in like shock and disbelief right now. I'm just like, what? Um, huh. Okay. Well, but I remember like making a special note about these guitars, these ones, like the Plink Plonk, right?
That's not in there.
Huh?
Really? Just this is in there?
It's like a different piano part.
Yeah. Okay, can you just pull up the diagnosis?
I well, I don't have the final. This is the final project
Here,
file.
No,
I'll
like
play you what I
just,
have.
just play it on YouTube or something.
Wait, this is the intro. Oh my. No, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
Oh, but only the
Yeah.
right hand. How?
it sounds good.
It does sound
Yeah,
good.
it sounds good.
But how did only the right layer get export? Okay, so
This is, guys, I cannot underline how this is the funniest thing that has ever happened in the history of Chucky.
oh wait, is this why? Oh,
And this is fucking hilarious.
wow, this is embarrassing. I think I know why though. I think it's because I ended up removing these. No, maybe not.
It's
Oh,
only the right hand in that one.
but how?
It's also funny because you listened to what, like 13 revisions of the mix for Diagnosis and you never figured this out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna go over that actually.
yeah. So only
That's why
these.
I fully thought it was intentional because I knew you and Andrew were making like a bunch of like instrumental
Mm-hmm.
like fixes last minute. So I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is probably like intentional.
Huh.
That
I-
is hilarious.
That's
know.
so funny.
I don't know.
It
how
worked
this
out
happened.
though because it sounds better without the piano, I think.
No, I agree because the piano, like looking back at this specific patch, this was the double felt grand from Keyscape, and it's very like I think it worked when there were no vocals on it, but hearing it without the vocals and in context, like it there's so much like mid presence that I think would contest with the vocals. So
Yeah, I think
I
it would
do
have been
agree.
too heavy-handed.
Yeah, and I guess honestly, the fact that I didn't say anything about it meant that
You
it
preferred
sounded.
You didn't miss it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess that works out. That's hilarious. Wow. I don't know how that. Okay, so I'm trying to wrap my head around how this happened because they're both okay. So I don't know why I had these on two separate tracks, but they're both routed to the same like number 19. So how did one get exported and the other not? I have no idea. I don't know. FL Studio. Maybe it's time to move the Cubase.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Time's up.
Well, okay. That's funny.
Yeah, we're all finding this out just now live with you
Yeah.
guys, so
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This is why you guys should tune into Chalky streams.
Yeah,
so we should
it's
Yeah.
because it's always a fun
shenanigans
time.
on live.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this makes me look so irresponsible. Anyway, one of the most I think like the biggest layers that I produced on here, where it was the Eleanor synth or the Eleanor stack of synths that we have here. I really wanted to keep this in just because it's so colorful. I wanted like a little bit of like a mini like choir section, but I felt like I still wanted to be also kind of synth in some way, and I couldn't find the right choir or pad patch on Vital or Serum, and
Yep.
I was like just kind of struggling to make my own. So I was like, okay, how do I get a human vocal like pad without using human vocals because I don't really like the sound of like my chorus, right? And I was like, okay, Eleanor Forte. And so here she is. Oopsies. Oh my god.
There she is. That's not her.
That's definitely Eleanor.
That is
Forte.
definitely Eleanor. Wait. So this is I sketched this out first. Here she is. There she is. And somehow, I just thought that this would be really cool to have them all panned on like to come in at different, I guess like left right coming in because
Yep.
I was
Yep.
listening to Jacob Collier at the time and I was like, haha, he does this thing and I think that's pretty cool, so I'm gonna do that thing. And we have the synth V file right here with like the different pannings and stuff. This was when I was just getting into synth V, so I only had Eleanor Forte, but she worked out like perfectly for this. And that basically covers most of like what I did for the diagnosis in terms of production, actually, which is kind
What?
of funny. Yeah, the rest is
Drums.
your guitarist. Oh, okay, the drums. The drums. The drums. So the drums were kind of a headache because I don't really know how to make GGD drums sound really good. Like
You cannot play this on a drum set, by the way.
yeah. I have
You
a
can try.
you could certainly try. I'm sure there's someone out there like that one Zach guy on YouTube probably could do it. Maybe.
No, you don't have enough hands to do this.
Yeah, well, okay. So the idea was maybe I also made this up because I remember seeing you guys know Kagero Project, right? Or Mekoku City Actors, Jin.
Yeah.
So I remember watching a live concert of him playing through I think like Children Record or something. But live concert, Jin, he had 3 bassists, 4 guitars, and or
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, or is it 2 bassists? I think it was 2 bassists, 4 guitars, and 2 drum sets on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my thought was like, if Jin can have 2 drum sets, my drummer can have 8 hands.
Yeah.
um,
Let's get more drummers.
yeah, just get more Zaki Grooves, yeah, Kiame. But yeah. I kept this as dry as possible because I knew Blake was gonna do like go to town with them,
Yeah.
Really I picked GGD Modern and Massive just because of I think the relationship between the kick and snare is like really nice in this specific GGD patch, but I don't like the hats. But I think specifically for this song, it worked out like the hats fit the song somehow despite me
Yeah.
not liking them. And every time I tried to replace the hats with like for example, I would load up Superior Drummer and then I would just have the hat pattern on what I thought that I liked, and it would just sound really bad. So I ended up just being like accepting that I just need to commit to this kit. This was still, I think this project might have been before I did revisions on the velocities or not. But this was before, like, I think I properly looked into drum programming and velocities. So the velocities are kind of whack. But Blake made them sound good. So I'm incredibly
Yay.
thankful for
I'm
that.
glad.
Yeah. But aside from that, yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Besides, writing, because I was having trouble figuring out how to top line it, so I threw it at Lorian and was like, Lorian, please, can you help me? Can you please help me top line this? And then we went through a couple of revisions of lyrics and top lines before we landed on something, or before we landed on the final. But before we get to the top line, though, Andrew, is there anything you wanted to like talk about for your guitars? Oh, okay, all right.
Said no?
He said no so quickly.
What's he here for then?
To hang out, because Andrew just loves hanging out with us.
I'm trying to sleep, man.
Bro, come on. Yeah, like you have to be awake to watch Arcane anyway, so like, it just works out. I think one of my favorite parts obviously is the lead, right? This heavy lead. Hell yeah. That that lead is just so cool. And one of the
Backing guitar is tracked on a 7th string in. Did I use drop G or did I use drop F?
No wonder they were chugging. I was thinking about them honestly the other day, and while I was playing guitar for another thing, and I was like, why can't my chugs go that low? Why can I not chug on my 6-string Stratocaster? Oh my god. Yeah. And that was really cool. Honestly, these later additions that we got from Andrew, I think really helped kind of elevate that tone, cuz or the overall like feel of the song, of it being kind of like a mental battle, I think. I think like we know Andrew a lot for like riffs and his J-rock songs, I think, but I think where he really shines is getting those like heavy chugs in. Stellar, so stellar. I don't know why I said stellar. Stellar work on these, huh?
So stellar
You're
work.
projecting again.
You're tracking again.
No, you're projecting.
I'm projecting. Stellar.
You're projecting.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. But other parts that you came in with that I thought were super neat were the acoustic parts, recorded on the silent acoustic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these sounded really nice. Like, if Yamaha needs like a promo, what?
What, the clean parts aren't? No, the clean parts are electric.
Oh, whoopsie, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, Kiyame would beg to differ.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like the sound of the silent acoustic.
I mean, like, we're guitarists, right? So, like, this sounds fake to us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's
This
understandable.
is clearly like a preamp, but it gets the job done.
Right. Bro, real concept would just sound better.
Yeah. It does.
Really?
But even though it's nice recording with this sound acoustic, it does run into some problems.
Right.
Where sometimes if you record the same part, it will like phase.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's just super consistent.
It's playing the same samples that are round robining.
Right. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well that pushes off my purchase of a silent acoustic. Lol. But I think I still like it. I like the sound. Teehee. And we have this filter. Is this just like the filtered? Yes it is.
The lead.
Yeah.
With QC on it.
Yeah, as you can tell, we really like this lead. That's why this this riff is everywhere. Huh?
Really dare just to build it in for
the heavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This we really like this riff. So it serves as like a foundational piece of the diagnosis, right? Just
without that focus lead, it would just be too sudden.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really nice touch. But yeah, that's pretty much the production of the diagnosis. It's almost like I guess kind of like looking at like the production, I guess from like top down or like eagle's eye or whatever. I think I think this would be like really playable in a band setting, you know, if you simplify the drums a little bit, huh? Wink, 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 wonk, wink, wink, wonk. I
What
happen
are
to know
you
like
winking at?
um the two guitarists in chat. Well, the one right here and the other one that's in the chat. You know, wink, wonk, wink, wink, wink,
Where you
wink.
just talked about drums.
It's
So who are you
we can get Nick, right? This will be fine.
Chalky and
Why
friends.
name dropping on stream?
It's
Crazy.
okay. It's okay, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that pretty much covers it for like the overall production. I feel like I say this, I think every single time. Yeah, overall is another, you know, simple, not too many, not a crazy amount of layers. Just
I
making
think
sure.
that's just in comparison with EP1. I think this is like
Mm.
it's still pretty. There's a lot of layers going on.
Dude, Kiami, that's fucked up.
Brandon Bush, I can't play this. By the way. That's so fucked up. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm gonna be selfish for a sec, and I want you to play that bridge section, guitars only.
Oh, really? This bridge section?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, why are there other things? I thought I soloed out the guitars. 1 second.
I love the guitars here.
It's so pretty.
So pretty.
There's a little polyrhythm section.
Yeah, imagine if there was piano on top of this too.
I think it would distract it from the.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
This is crazy.
Yummy.
The reason I made the section 2 was because he didn't have the pianos.
Yeah, that's that's wow, that's quite the travesty, huh?
Anything extra I added was just because it sounded empty.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine
Happy
we didn't have
accidents.
that.
Yeah, imagine if it was just like if we just took that, I guess if you took all these layers out, what would it even sound like? And took these out and just this is what it would sound like.
What?
Are you huh?
Yeah, because
There's-
in the original render there was no pianos, right?
No, it still had the little.
Oh, it
It
had
had
the.
the twinkly. It had the twinkly.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So
Not the dun 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 dun, the twinkly one.
yeah, that would be the section, guys. Just
Dun, 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 dun.
so riveting.
Just Eleanor
Wow.
Forte coming in
I know.
every
like-
once in a while.
Yeah, Eleanor Forte just saying hi.
Yo, what's up?
You're Eleanor Forte?
Wow. Riveting.
Right? Amazing. So really glad that Andrew was like, hey, let me play some extra stuff. This is gonna be a stain on my legacy. But it turned out great, so it works out in the end.
Yeah, maybe you should forget the piano more often. That was awesome.
Honestly, maybe that should be the next challenge. Like instead of forgetting orchestra, I just forget about piano entirely.
Yeah.
You just like
Lorian?
forget the song.
I wonder what would happen if you did that actually.
No orchestra or piano.
Well, guitar is I would probably just play guitar because guitar is technically my first. Well, it's not technically. Guitar is my first instrument, so I would just play guitar.
But you rarely sketch songs only on guitar.
That is true. That is true. I guess we will have to find that out, huh? What would happen?
Mm.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
Mm.
I can hear the gears turning in her head right now.
Interesting.
Oh, God.
interesting.
At least give me a heads up if we're gonna try that. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the production of the song itself. Do you want to talk about the top line and how we came about that?
No.
Yeah, for the oh
Oh,
well, Andrew, you didn't work
Andrew
on the
doesn't want to
top
hear.
line, so
Yeah, he doesn't
you
want to hear
don't
it.
get a say.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
Tee-hee.
don't get a say. Sorry about that, Andrew. Um, y'all
No,
really
we always.
making Kagu jump through hoops to produce songs, Lamau? Well, okay. Here's the
We
thing.
wouldn't do anything different otherwise.
When Kagu gets into a thing, he starts using it as as like a like a stick, like a crutch.
A
Crutch.
stick.
And then he
Call him
starts
out, yeah.
doing the same like it's great. It's a great thing, but then he starts doing the same thing like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And at some point you're just like, dude, you gotta stop. But it's also just like I do the same thing where I get really comfortable writing songs in a specific like way.
Mm.
And then I come up with my own challenges to figure out how to approach things differently so that the ending result will be something that's like a bit more unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of like yeah. I mean, that's how most of EP2 was made.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like at the time, because this was started like about a year ago. Yeah, orchestra was kind of like my main thing, just because I was at the time I was still going toward like, oh, I want to do like music for video games. So that's probably why like the orchestra influence was so strong there. So like moving into a band setting and just kind of like figuring out music in a like concept more than like, oh, these are the tools that are available for me and that I'm comfortable with. Thinking about like, okay, how do I make the concept work without knowing how, if that makes sense? Because I feel like I had to do a lot of studying for EP2, especially like for like a song like I said, Super Crush Central. I almost said Super Crush again. um, but even like yeah, so like I mean I do. I lost the point of what I was trying to say, honestly. I feel like I had something, and then I was like, huh, what am I trying to say? Hmm. But on the top line, initially I was having a lot of difficulties, honestly, just thinking about the overall melody. Probably because I had some pre preconceived melody in my head and that I just couldn't get out. And no matter what I tried to do, I would keep coming back to that melody. I don't even remember if I recorded any demos for it, but I just remember it not really working. So I was like, okay, Lorian, I need help. And that's how we came up with the first revision of the Diagnosis top line, of which I thought I had pulled up. But now I have to go find it. Tee. But the first revision was really interesting because Lorian, you had to pitch the song up by 3, right?
well, basically the thing was we decided that this was gonna be your song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was why you were sort of taking the lead on it. But then you were running into walls with the top lining. So I was like, I can top line it. The issue is if I top line it, will you be able to sing it?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to that was probably not. So then I thought of a workaround where I basically asked Karu, how many semitones do you think your vocal range is apart from mine? And he said 3. So I was just like, cool. I will pitch this down, or no, I will pitch this up 3 and then top line it, pitched up, and then pitch it back down so you can sing it. spoiler alert, it didn't work because it was still too high, which is why parts of it had to be rewritten.
Yeah.
Mainly the chorus. But basically, yeah, so when I first wrote it, um, it was more than three. It was more than three, yeah. When I first wrote it, I mean, I was just sort of like sitting on the song, and this was supposed to be like our emo song of the album because like all of the other songs were more like this was the sad song of the album, basically.
Yeah.
It like the other songs were a lot more like veiled in terms of what the speaker is really trying to express, but this one was supposed to be like, yeah, this is it. Like I am super sad and this is like the outlet kind of song.
Yeah.
And then so that's sort of like the mentality that I went into writing it, and also I was like, yeah, I'm writing this for Kagu, so it was also trying to align myself with his style a bit more. Honestly, I think I just went from the top to the bottom and then sketched out the song like that. If you still have the original demo.
I do. I just downloaded it. Do you want to go through it? Do you want to play it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
The doctor said, the symptoms are clear, it's just what you feared, and it cannot be cured. But how could she know that was just what I wanted?
Yeah, so the opening was like sort of like a dialogue. Because it was the doctor said, and then I was imagining like this conversation between the person and then the doctor, and then the doctor in this case was like Chalk, so it was how could she know this was just what I wanted. Is it getting to the verse yet?
It's almost there.
Okay.
Listen closely now, I'm standing on the edge. The last words to ever leave your mouth becomes a careful declaration. And I thought I caught myself to feel what you have felt before. And I thought that it would help to put me in the shoes of a poor prophetic angel. Cut my limbs and set me free. This wasn't how I wanted to feel. The heat of the sun that proved I was living. Yes,
So this,
living.
so this
Do
part
you stand
eventually
further from your
came.
mic to do that?
Yes, I did. Because
I
well,
love that.
because I was peeking, and also because it was like it was supposed to be like a crowd vocal, but we didn't
Right.
end up actually doing the crowd vocal idea. So that part, which was originally written for the chorus, ended up being the bridge, and then Kagu rewrote the chorus because this chorus, even pitched down, was too high. And then in the current version of this section, the bridge is sung, I think, an octave down, which is why it
Yes.
worked.
Yeah. The pain subsides again as the skies get better. Would the sorrow even reach me now? Cut my limbs.
Yeah, and then it just repeats, and that's the end of the song.
Yeah.
The concept, if you look at the original lyrics, it's actually really interesting. If you look at the original lyrics of The Diagnosis, I realized the song was called The Diagnosis after I wrote the whole song. I don't know if you have the text of it.
I have right here. Let me pull up a text file. How do I create a new text file? Oh wait, I have just a thing. Fruity notebook, be my
Yeah.
Fruity notebook, be my savior. Bam, and then new page, and then bam. Now we have the text.
Oh, that's so tiny.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, wait.
Oh, now it's gone.
Good now.
There we go. This is as most
There
I
we
can
go.
zoom. Yep.
The doctor said the symptoms are clear, it's just what you feared and it cannot be cured. So the original concept for The Diagnosis is a person who gets diagnosed for a quote unquote terminal illness that they actually secretly really wanted. And the idea of that is, this is kind of funny, but this is probably the best way I can describe it. Have you guys ever seen that tweet where it's just like, sometimes I really wish that I would just like pass out and then the doctors at the hospital will tell me that there's like a bunch of things wrong with me and
Yes.
then I take them and then I get better.
You're missing the vitamin.
The
Yes, but you're
vitamin.
missing.
How have you
you're missing-
survived without the vitamin?
Yeah, you're missing the one vitamin, and now we found you. Like, so the idea is basically the quote unquote terminal. Okay, let's bring it back. So the speaker wishes basically that they had a debilitating physical illness that is terminal and that can explain why they essentially feel like shit all the time. That's to put it in colloquial terms. But it's sort of like the so the first verse is the doctor said the symptoms are cleared, it's just what you feared, it cannot be cured, but how could she know it was just what I wanted? So it's about that. And then the first verse is about basically like if this person, they're fantasizing essentially of if I was diagnosed with this terminal illness, what would be my last words? Like when you're sort of on the edge of death, to put it cleanly, then everything you say could potentially be like the last thing that you ever say, and that your last words become a sort of declaration. And then the next one is just more about the feelings of the speaker and how they desperately want to feel this sort of connection and an explanation for the way that they are feeling. And essentially, so obviously there isn't actually like a physical illness, but it's my intention was that this was an like a metaphor for a mental illness, because it's so often that mental afflictions just aren't taken as seriously because they don't have overt physical symptoms. So if you look at the part that I originally intended to be the chorus, cut my limbs and set me free, this wasn't how I wanted to feel the heat of the sun that proved I was living, is talking about their struggle of how they don't actually really want to die, but this wasn't the way that they wanted to live. And if I pretend I've been through hell, does that make sense for me to tell my friends of the ghost that I think has been living? And this is peeling back the curtain a bit of like, well, if I pretend that I have this terminal, like death-causing illness, then is that an okay explanation for me to tell my friends, my family, my peers, that this explains the way that I've been acting is because I have a physical affliction that is causing this, rather than something that would not be understood as well, such as like any sort of mental illness. So that was my original intention. It's about essentially the speaker pretending that they got a diagnosis that they never did. And then when Kagu took it and moved around the bits, like moved the chorus to the bridge and then added his own chorus, I'll let you talk about it. I think it becomes like in spirit, I think it's still sort of like the same song, but I think your version is just a lot more straightforward with like the expression of the emotions that are in the song,
Right.
which I think suits your voice better.
Yeah. Because I remember going through and just kind of reading the lyrics and feeling like, well, the first draft of the lyrics, and just feeling like that connection between like, not just, of course, like Key and, the idea of Key going through like the basic, well, depression essentially, and like I guess like a personal connection to that, and then in I guess the relationship of that to the song, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I think when I started to sing it, of course the biggest issue, of course, was like I can't hit the notes. That was the biggest issue. But then as I continued to kind of go through, um, I felt like, oh, I think I could. I think if I incorporated more of like a personal kind of like perspective, that could not only maybe help me um, push through the chorus with more power and more like, I guess, yeah, probably just like more power and emotion. Um, so that's when I started to think about like how do I, because I liked the first draft, so I just started to think about like how I would kind of weave my, I guess, touches into that without completely blowing up the song. Um, so after getting the first draft, I started just writing about, um, I guess, from the perspective of like Key directly, and a lot of it is also kind of like personal anecdote, as well. I guess this would be kind of like a, mm, well, I guess it's still a little hard to
Mm.
talk about. Not really hard to talk about, but like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Anyway, so when I was diagnosed for my mental illness, I remember like kind of feeling a sense of like a huge sense of relief,
Mm.
and also a sense of like dread and like doom essentially.
Yeah.
So that was like a huge inspiration that kind of drove the rest of the song. And it started with this part, after you wrote, the doctor said the symptoms are clear, it's just what you fear and it cannot be cured. And I laughed in response, thinking to myself, how absurd. um, and I think this, just thinking about this line and like my feelings in that moment in like real life, that kind of like made me want to talk a bit more about like my own personal experience and bring it into this song to really kind of hopefully make it more, um, I guess, impactful to not just me, but like hopefully
Mm.
like people that can like relate to it a bit. So I kept this line too because I really, really like this. Um, the standing on the edge, the last words ever leave your mouth become a careful declaration. And this part is actually kind of funny, and I've wanted to talk about this for a super long time because I remember the thought of falling forward keeps my idea of balance from teetering off. And what inspired this was, do you
That's not
got
that's the first version, right?
the thought
Yeah,
of falling?
it's just censored enough in the final.
Oh shit. Whoopsies. Just centered enough.
Yeah.
I copied the wrong thing.
It works better, I think.
Yeah. And the thought of falling forward keeps my idea of balance just centered enough. Yeah, there we go. Um, let me just replace this.
No, I think this is interesting because we can see the
Yeah.
edits that we
I see.
made.
I see. Thought of falling forward keeps my idea of balance just centered enough. Okay, well, let me go and grab the old version. Um, thought of falling keeps my idea of balance from teetering off. So I think what inspired this was, do you guys
Yeah.
know the meme of like what's heavy
Oh,
up?
you've been excited to tell us about this.
Okay, yeah.
I
A
have
kilogram of steel
or a kilogram of
feathers.
feathers. Yes, exactly. That's what inspired this, because I don't know where or how. I was just going through old YouTube videos, and this just popped in my head. And it was the idea of scales, and also like perspective.
Following line?
Yes.
Go equation for you.
Oh yeah, it is the following. It's almost as if the scales have been weighed against my worth and dust. Sorry, the following line. The following line.
You got so excited you
I
started
got
talking
so
about it early.
I know. I've been waiting for like 6 months. But yeah. So sorry. And the thought of falling forward keeps my idea of balance from teetering off was the first iteration, and then we went to just centered enough, because I think
Because
you
I
guys
didn't
just
like
like
the way it sounded.
teetering off. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
teetering.
Yeah, I thought
Most of the
teetering.
changes, honestly, I made was just me going to Kagura being like, I didn't like the way this sounded.
just
Yeah.
teetering off. Yeah. I think my word selection can sometimes be a little quirky. You know, a little bit like, why'd you use that there?
Yeah, just should we call somebody? Should we have a party?
Huh? What the
Should we
heck?
invite?
Cause for celebration. But yeah, just centered enough because like the idea is like, okay, so this is something that I like continue to. I've been a lot better. Preface. I'm a lot better now. Haha. But at the especially
You guys have to remember, he originally wrote That's So Crazy. So this is a huge improvement.
yeah.
That's so zany.
That's so zany. Yeah.
I'm so zany. Sorry.
So what this particular area is talking about is kind of like the ideation, right? The thoughts of falling forward. If you're
Are we
standing.
allowed to say the word that we are avoiding on stream on YouTube per YouTube guidelines?
I don't think so. I think we'll get flagged, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I hope everybody in the audience knows what we are talking about. We're not
Yeah.
trying to talk about it lightly. We just literally can't say it.
Yeah. You guys can read between the lines, right? Yeah, you guys will be fine.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like the idea of it keeps it from happening because like by going through like, or I guess for lack of better word, like fantasizing about it, kind of forced me to kind of think about all the things that I would be giving up. And so it would be a weird balance of just kind of just standing at that edge of just like I'm one like super super bad day of just like poof.
Yeah.
But it's something else that kind of inspired it was, you guys know, like in The Fault of Our Stars, where the main The Fault in Our Stars, yeah,
Are you
where
gonna talk about the cigarettes?
yeah, the cigarettes, yeah, exactly, where he's
Oh
like,
my fucking-
I like to keep the cigarette in my mouth because it's like what I like to keep what kills me close to me because I think that's so cool. That kind of helped, yeah. And then the next line, it's almost as if the scales have been weighed against my worth and dust. So what we talk about, the meme, right? The kilogram steel versus a kilogram of feathers. A kilogram.
of steel
Yeah.
or a kilogram of feathers.
Yeah. What that I guess put in my brain was not only how absurd that, like, of people being like, oh my god, like it's a kilogram of steel, of course it's going to be heavier than a kilogram of feathers. But I also thought about like how McDonald's put out the quarter pounder, and then Burger King responded with a third pounder, and the third pounder sold considerably worse because people thought the quarter pounder was heavier than the third pounder.
Yeah.
And
Pretty good.
right. And another thing that I also thought about was in the first season of Bakemonogatari, a little spoilers for it, but the first arc, Hitagi Crab, is how the weight of her like struggles is manifested as like a crab. And I thought about like how that happens to someone when you can like when you're I guess when you perceive like your struggles and it becomes like a physical manifestation, right? And I kind of thought about how I view myself, and so at the time it felt like everything was just constantly like I was at odds with everything, and that I just couldn't win, right? No matter like how I like viewed things or like tried to change my perspective, and that's kind of what it does to you, right? Like you just always find like a pitfall for yourself to kind of like walk into. So I found myself just kind of like I feel like, of course, I feel like the gravity of myself, but it's as if I were just made of dust, and I'm just sitting on the scales, and because I'm made of like. I just feel like it just made me feel like worthless and like easily, I guess, like swayed in that sense. So that's what kind of helped build this like image in my mind. And this part, the chorus where it's, oh, could you dare to see me in the air? The sun's cold glare reminds me of failing to find what I'm missing. This was kind of challenging to write at the time, mainly because it was kind of like I was kind of in that like headspace of like because I was kind of constantly stuck at the thought of falling forward, and it kind of balancing me between like, you know, falling forward or just, you know, staying grounded. It kind of felt like I needed like an external, either like affirmation one way or the other. And I revisit this idea later on, in the second part of the chorus, sitting on the fence, tell me where I stand. That's like an actual, like, I am sitting on the fence. I need to be told, like, I need to be told, like, where I am in order to, because it's just easier that way. Like, it's kind of like I'm in a state of, like, I can't formulate what I want for myself. So, the sun's cold glare reminds me of failing. This was at a time where going outside was really, really difficult, and of course, like, the sun is just really hot down here, lol. But at the time, during the worst of it was when, like, I had a lot of anxiety about going outside, where it's just like it felt like everybody was just kind of looking at me weird, or just like looking at me and like kind of like judging, because maybe I was just looking like particularly like disheveled, or like I just had like maybe a weird look on my eyes. So and it just was kind of like a constant cycle. Like, I couldn't, like, of course people are like, well, when you're in that headspace, you need to go outside, you need to get vitamin D, like, you need to do these things. But going outside just made me feel even more out of place, and it kind of was like, oh my god, like, I can't find my like place out here regardless. So I just, you know, oh, I think some of the lyrics got mixed up here. Boop, boop, boop.
Between the versions.
Yeah, between the versions. Let me grab them again. Oh, because initially I only wrote the first half, and I didn't write the second half until much later.
Yeah.
So here we are. And then I kind of just copied the original chorus over to make the bridge.
You had a different bridge.
Did I have a different
I
bridge?
saw it. You just copied it
5
over.
for 10.
But it didn't. I don't know if you can control Z your copying.
Oh,
but
I found it.
It was there.
I found it. Here we go.
It didn't work just specifically because the rhythms didn't match up with the instrumental that well.
Yeah. Do I have a demo of that, actually?
You probably do, because I'm pretty sure you recorded it.
Let me see.
If you can find it.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Oh, or... Huh.
The truth gets lost when the pages dissolve into embers. If I follow along, lose it all, disintegrate into fire. Would it be better?
Oop. Oh no, well, I cut
Oh,
it
wood.
off before the chorus.
wood.
'Cause- oh wood. This was also before, like, I really tried a lot to kind of, like, I guess, perfect the tone for this song, so it sounds really, really rough, I think. I practiced, like, singing along to Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, rest in peace, just because I thought, like, that kind of, like, tone would fit. So I really tried to do, like, practice a lot of, like, Fry Scream, and it really worked out, I think. But yeah, after this part didn't fit, then I was just like, well, I think, like, what if I just try singing this about an octave lower? And it ended up, like, working, like, really, really well.
Yeah.
And also, like, you know, how you talked and what you were talking about here too. So we
I'm
just
glad that made it in because I really liked the s- the story and the well, how do I put it? Like I
Mhm.
really liked the sentiment behind what I was writing and the way that I wrote it.
Yeah, yeah, and I did too. I did too, and I think that's why I also wanted to keep like as much of your version in as possible because like I think you set up like a really solid foundation and groundwork for me to build off of, and I wanted to like continue
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like really connected to these two like phrases, or well, I guess to this entire bridge section, because like
Yeah.
yeah, it does like really feel like that. Like if I had like a physical disability, then it would be so much easier to kind of like explain or put into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this I wrote just kind of as a just a parallel to like the first chorus. So I
Yeah.
feel like there's not really
'Cause it's
much here.
mm-hmm.
But the moon's pale stare. I like contrasting elements, sun, moon, woohoo. Um,
I do the
um,
same thing.
right, like it's just fun. It's just fun to do. And
Yeah.
then the I'm falling part. I close my eyes to welcome rising tides. A voice transcends. Farewell, my friend. Um, I don't. I kind of leave up like who this voice is. I kind of just kind of leave it up there. Like it could be Chalk, could be Key talking to like himself, or it could be just the moon. Lol. But I close my eyes to welcome rising tides. I think something that's been unintentionally pervasive throughout like our themes is
Mm.
the talking about like ocean or water like imagery, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was intended at the beginning, but I think it's something that we kind of like go toward because of our mutual, I guess, connection with the ocean, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember in Purple Sunset, like that was kind of established, and then my own relationship with the ocean is less. Um, well, I have a fear of the ocean. Um, yeah, I have a fear of the ocean.
Me in Purple Sunset being like, oh my God, I grew up by the ocean. It's so nice and fun. And Kagu being like, I have a debilitating fear of the ocean.
Yeah, I am extremely fearful of the ocean, mainly because I have almost drowned like multiple times. So
Oh
to
God.
me, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you know how to swim?
I do know how to swim. It's maybe not
Oh,
very well.
it's just specifically the ocean. It's not like water.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like pools are fine.
Thalassophobia.
Thalassophobia, is that what it
Mm.
is?
Thalassophobia. It's
Thala-
the
the-
fear of the open ocean.
right.
Or phobia of the open ocean.
Yeah, it's mainly the waves, right? The waves, I think, every time I've
Mm.
gone, I think it's also unlucky. Every time I've gone to the beach, it's been at a time where the waves are perfect for surfers, horrible for not strong swimmers, right? I'm not a strong swimmer, but I can swim. My most recent escapade, I went on a date with someone, and it was super embarrassing because I basically almost drowned in front of her as she was like practicing surfboarding. Um, and I was just like waiting out, and I got to the point where I was like neck height, and I didn't notice that the waves were picking up because I guess I was just zoning out in the middle of the ocean. Well, not really in the middle, but like I was zoning out. And
Bad place
so
to zone out.
really bad place to zone out because then I started to realize, oh shit, the waves are crashing above my head now. So I turn around and I start to kind of panic a little as the waves are buffeting against my like back. Cause so what was happening, and I felt like I was coming on a riptide. So basically, I was being dragged into the wave, and then I was crashing into the ocean. So I was just in that like cycle constantly, right? So in my head, I know like, okay, eventually I will crash forward enough so that I have a foothold. But my like whatever part controls your sense of danger and adrenaline was like, you're going to die. And so I started to like I managed to calm myself down enough so that I like tried to dive forward
Oh.
whenever the waves would pick me up. So I would like feel, because I felt too scared to turn back into like the ocean. I also felt that would be counterproductive. So I was trying to feel like when the ocean would rise up and push me forward, and then I would try to use like I guess my upper body muscles to kind of like lurch forward as well to kind of dive in. And eventually after doing that like 5 or 6 times, I managed to find like the sand again, and my feet like grasped onto it, and then I like pulled myself out. And
You
apparently
gave her the ick for sure.
I definitely gave her the ick. Like I'm not even joking. I definitely gave her the ick. So it was like a double like I guess shot to the heart.
No.
B. Yeah.
So unfortunate.
I know. It was so bad. No, because like after that date, it was like when we were like, oh, she was like, oh, it's like not really like, it's just, yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, understandable.
Hey, I know you almost died, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
kind of feeling that.
Right, exactly. But that like, further exacerbated, my fear of the ocean. It's to me, the ocean is kind of like where I would go to perish. So that's the whole, yeah, I close my eyes to welcome rising tides. It can be interpreted as like since
Worry about you drowning.
yeah, exactly. Like either like, oh, I'm falling into the ocean, or that I am just literally sitting at just in the middle of the ocean and just being like, well, bye-bye now. So yeah. Yeah. So that
That's
is the
crazy.
diagnosis, right? Yeah. Definitely one of, I think like after this released, I was really nervous about the reception to this song, because I think when you start putting so much of like your like personal experiences into like something like this, like I felt so kind of like connected to the song, and just being like, this is a mixture of like Lorian's like groundwork of like the storytelling, right? And also Key being where Key is in that mind state in the story, but also my personal experiences all bundled in like together. So this song has
Yeah.
a very special like place in my heart. So yeah, so I'm glad that the reception overall has been pretty positive.
A lot of people have told me that this is like their favorite song on the new EP.
Yay. I'm glad.
So it's definitely, yeah, like this is, I think I've talked about this before, but it's always like when you incorporate more and more, I'm finding when you incorporate like real stories, anecdotes, like real experiences, it just gives the song that level of like emotional realness that people can connect to.
Yeah.
Much more than if you were, say, making up a scenario.
Exactly. But yeah, that covers the top line and the story of the diagnosis. Now we can get to the mix.
Oh, that's
Blake.
mine.
Heck yeah.
Our 13 revisions.
13 revisions.
Yeah,
Lucky
13
number.
revisions. All right. Okay, I've got the fight muted. Cool.
Okay. You got the fight muted. Thank God. We'd get struck down.
Had to make sure.
Yeah.
Just for
Okay.
context, Blake was watching the Jake Paul versus what's his face?
Mike
What? How did you what's his face at Mike Tyson? That's crazy.
Sorry, I
Iron
don't watch
Mike himself.
boxing.
Oh my
I don't
God.
watch boxing. I only know Jake Paul because he's an idiot.
Okay. That's fair. I agree with you on that.
All right, let me get the mixer on the bottom of the screen.
Because you are on
There
the
we
bottom
go.
of the screen. Teehee?
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
so funny.
Teehee?
Should we
Great.
clap?
Clap.
yeah.
clap.
Let's clap for him.
Oh, Shaw said brought me to tears. Thank you, Shaw.
Oh,
We take turns bringing each other to tears, like Shaw and I. Like Shaw, when Shaw writes a song, I'm just like, oh my God, that made me cry. And then when I write a song, Shaw's like, oh yeah, that made me cry. Yeah.
Remember to turn down the master so you don't blow everyone's ears out again.
Oh,
Yep, I did.
Okay, Pog.
all right. How's this?
Are clear. It's just what
I can't
you
hear it.
feel.
I
Oh,
can.
you can't hear it,
Wait, I can.
Lorian.
just
You have me muted.
The symptoms are clear. It's just what you feel.
You can't hear it.
Oh wait, okay.
You had my stream muted, didn't you?
No, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Don't worry.
Lorian's
Don't
a
worry
true
about
friend.
it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the project for the mix. Uh, it's kind of messy, but yeah. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? So here we go. So yeah. So the vocals are usually the thing I spend the most time on. However, I got the vocals done like very quickly. Uh, because the way I was imagining the song was
Mhm.
it's very raw. It's
Yeah.
very raw sounding. It's talking about very personal experiences. It's like very vulnerable. So I didn't really want to produce it too much.
Mhm.
And we actually Kagu rendered the vocals without tuning on them originally,
Oops.
and on accident because
Sorry
he
if the
turned off.
diagnosis seems to just be Kagu accidentally not exporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he rendered the vocals with no effects on them.
Uh-huh.
However, I put them in the DAW and I was like, "Oh wow, this sounds pretty raw and untuned. Cool, it's the vibe we're going for." And then like, I was like, "Okay, we should probably tune these a little bit." And
Mhm.
then like I was like, "Kagu, are these tuned?" And he was like, "Yeah, they're tuned." And I was like, "Okay, can can we make sure? Can we double check that they're tuned?"
Yeah.
Uh, and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And he forgot that Melodyne was also an effect on the track.
That I needed to
Uh,
export.
and
Yeah.
so and so we got that fixed. Uh, and yeah, the vocals came together really really easy. I don't know, just something about them.
Hell yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah, the project is very heavy, so it's gonna buffer a lot. But
Uh,
um,
mhm.
yeah, the performance is great. I didn't really
Thank
need
you.
to like do much outside of the typical, you
Mhm.
know, typical processing.
Right. Cool.
Just yeah, distressor into I don't know why I'm doing distressor into a preamp, but
Mhm.
that's what I chose.
Mhm.
Um,
Hell
normally it'd
yeah.
be the other way around. But it's going yeah, distressor into Neve 1073 emulation into a
Mhm.
DV nylon to
Mhm.
Type A, Smooth
Mhm.
2 SSL EQ into 1176 LA2A RVox Yeser,
Mhm.
and then a little saturation on the mains, a little EQ, another SSL on the vocal bus, some slew limiting, Pro
Mhm.
Q3, and then yeah, that was vocals were easy, honestly.
Wow.
Uh, it was really the drums that were the hardest thing to get right, just
Right.
because they're very MIDI, they're very
Mhm.
MIDI sounding, and here's what they sound like. Uh, Yeah, and since the drums are so important, I had to like make sure they were hitting right.
Right.
Uh, and I think I got them the best they could sound.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, they're MIDI drums, they're gonna have limitations.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think you made them sound really
but
good.
thanks. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, so I did something with the harmonies that I don't really ever do.
Mhm.
Normally when I have harmonies, I have them doubled so I can pan them left and right.
Yeah.
However, when I was like working with the raws, I
Mhm.
like had artificial widening on them.
Mhm.
So even though they're doubled,
Yeah.
I still kept on the widening
Mhm.
because I just kind of felt like it filled out the chorus a little better with the actual chorusing effect.
Right.
Mhm.
Uh and yeah, every other time I prefer the panned version. Like here, let me pan them real quick.
Yeah.
Uh Normally I would do this. And then if you listen to it in context. I just didn't like that as much. I
Mhm.
preferred it when it was more washed out sounding.
Mm.
And
No,
then
I see
let me
that.
A/B it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is the actual one.
Oh, that is a huge difference in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a really big difference.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess we're rolling with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I normally never do that if I have doubled arms, but I liked how it sounded, so
Yeah.
I just kept it.
That's nice. It does
Um,
fill out the frequencies more because I didn't record a lot of harm because I feel like I felt like I was like, okay, well, I don't think I should have a lot of harms because I didn't want to make things
yeah,
too dense. So I think that was a really good decision to really fill out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. A lot of this is just main doubles.
yeah.
There's 4 layers of them in the chorus. There's an octave and then there's a normal double.
Mm,
These ones I panned left and right because they
right,
sounded good that way. I
right.
kind of liked having both the chorusy harms and the less clean doubles that are hard panned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I see.
I liked that effect a lot. It sounded pretty raw while still keeping the harmonic content clean.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
there's that.
Okay.
And then yeah, Andrew's guitars were amazing. I didn't need to do hardly anything to these. Just like a little bit of saturation on the clean guitars, and then like a little bit of EQ in the rhythm guitars. But like other than that, they're clean. Like they're just straight, just leveled pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound awesome. And then the chorus guitars.
Guitars go burr.
Guitars go burr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see what else. Just yeah, for just very simple reverb and delay through the whole thing. I automated the volumes up in the choruses obviously, but I wanted to keep this very raw sounding.
Yeah.
While still not being like flimsy.
Right. Right. Right.
That's a really hard balance to strike, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can like honestly I feel like if I had mixed this myself, it probably would have just it wouldn't have had that like I guess the I guess the full sense of it, I think. I think it would have been a little bit too raw like if I tried to approach this cuz I would have just done like I would have just stuck with like what I usually do and just been like, okay, I'll just pen this left and right because I know this sounds good. But that like
Yeah.
putting that widener with microshift, I was like, that's something I'm gonna keep in my pocket. Honestly, like I have microshift. Like wow, okay, I didn't think about using it like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I normally never do that because
Right.
I prefer the sound of the clean left and right center
Right.
split. But just for this particular song, it just hit right.
Right.
Um, yeah, I can't really think of another reason I would do that other than like specifically on a song like this, where
Okay.
it's like very raw,
Right.
and like there's also 4 layers of doubles to support it that are also being hard panned and not artificially widened. But yeah.
Right.
And yeah, mastering the song was a bit of a challenge because the other songs aren't as loud with like distorted guitars and big drums and like screaming vocals. Like this song, I was able to push to like -5 LUFS
Nice.
without sounding bad.
Yeah.
But I listened to it in context and I was like, this is just too damn much. Like, I don't need to be doing all this. And so I made the decision to back it off just a little bit. And yeah, that took her a few revisions to get right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song was my version record in terms of like rendered mixes.
Let's go.
Yeah, so normally I'm hitting around like 5 revisions comfortably, like to where we're both happy with the mix. My previous record was 12, and this was 13.
We one-upped it.
We one-upped it. Yeah.
We
We
one-upped
had to.
it.
We had to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was just because the drums were not hitting right for
Yeah.
most of it, and I kept because it was tough because the drums, yeah, they're very MIDI and like they don't sound real, and so I had to kind of do a bunch of trickery to get them to sound good and like like a human played them,
Right.
or like they were recorded with really like like a cohesive setup.
Right.
Uh, yeah, something
Mm.
about the raw drums just wasn't hitting right, so
Mm-hmm.
I had to do quite a bit.
I see.
Uh, but yeah, that we got to figure it out in the end.
Hell yeah. Lucky number
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
Diagnosis.
Yeah.
Are there any questions on the mix? Because I can talk about
Yeah,
it.
are there any questions from our audience
Yeah.
about the mix or any other part of the thing? Is Andrew still here?
Yeah, Andrew's still here. Or is he sleeping? Oh,
He
yeah, he's still here.
hasn't said- Okay. So if anyone has any questions for Andrew about the guitars or for us or for Blake about mix,
Yeah.
speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Wow, what are the pickups that you used on your guitar?
No one?
Wow. Wow, we
No one
did we did
cares.
so
No one
we did
cares
no
at
no no
all.
no we did so well that nobody has any questions.
Right?
Wow, okay.
We did
All
talk
right,
a
all right.
lot for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did, yeah.
we went through all our talking points and we did
Mhm.
it such a good job that nobody has any questions
Right.
to ask.
Like, how
Like,
did
how
you
did you
do
do
that?
that?
Like, all of it?
Yeah, how do we do it? Yeah, so rewind the video and then you'll be able to see that. You get
Start from
the...
the very beginning.
I care, but I didn't get to join till just now. Oh, but the stream will be up if you want to revisit or if you have like a particular question, you can ask now and we can go
Yeah.
over it. What
Right.
are the vocal layers for the like yes you are living parts or something?
Oh, that's
Is that also Lori?
just Kagu.
That's just
I think
Kagu. So
it's in the
we've
doubles.
yeah,
I think it's... Is it here?
bridge.
Yeah, the
Is it the
bridge.
bridge?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Should be... There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the ad-lib.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put a little reverb on his voice there. It just pushes it back enough to where it sounds like he recorded it further from the mic, essentially.
It's really
Yeah.
funny that you caught the fact that I actually stepped away from my mic to record that
It
video.
was pretty obvious. Like, you could hear your room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the point.
Oh. No.
Well, yeah, I just got that in the mix, like, intuitively.
That's so
Ah.
Well, that's
funny.
kind of just what I heard on that ad lib. There was like a very like far away, washed out ad lib.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the intent. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a call
Yeah.
and response line. Like that's kind of pretty
Yeah.
classic. Is like
The voice
you
in the
have
back
the
of your
upfront
head.
one, and yeah,
Yes,
Right.
you are living.
yeah, that's what the project sounds like when I play it.
Gargle, gargle, gargle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
These like buffer sizes, man. It's never enough.
This is the max. This is the max buffer size.
Yeah.
Just
Random
keep me
question.
in the air.
How much RAM
Random
do you
question.
have? How much RAM do you have? Like
32 gigs. It's not about RAM. It's about
this your CPU?
processing power. Yeah. I
okay.
think there's probably some optimizations I can make in the project, but I would have to reroute things.
Right. That's always
Not worth it.
Yeah. No, I agree. No more questions. This is perfect. Gotta freeze.
I do
some
gotta freeze some
tracks.
tracks. I don't feel like it though, so
Freezing is so lame.
yeah. The answer is I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't like freezing my
I
tracks.
think
Really?
actually I froze the vocals to work on it. It's because this plays better. There we go.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, this plays. Yeah.
Dan. Okay.
Mhm.
Now that I hear that, would you care? That flip was really hard to get right and consistent. Cause it's
Really?
like, yeah,
You
oh,
recorded this whole thing like twice, yeah.
yeah, cause you can't just like, would you care? Like you can't just like belt into it because there's not like, I feel like there's not enough
You need the
feeling.
care. You need the wiggly.
Yeah, the wiggly hit. So like I basically like so what I did is like I pushed into my head voice to get the flip, kind of like a little vocal break, and then like sustained myself by pushing back down into like back to where like my throat is, and like so it's like I have to maintain pressure in my diaphragm, push it above the head, and then back to the throat to maintain, and also sing on pitch.
You make it sound like you were in a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Yeah, 'cause yeah,
That's
this
so
was
crazy.
definitely kind of hell
Blue
of a
wants
start.
to hear more about vocal technique.
Oh, really? Oh, let's see. The I wanted to create that like a little bit of that like again like contrasting elements, right? Um, but the difference in dynamics between like the verses is like how almost like my regular talking voice, like kind of like where I just kind of like sing in roughly where my like mix is, and then I wanted to create that impact of going into the chorus, which is why I first recorded it with like my first iteration of like how I thought I would fry scream, and that didn't really hit as well. So, fry screaming is just kind of like singing, but with like a really like distorted, like gritty voice, and it's a weird feeling because I would transition from like singing normally, and then I would have to like kind of crossfade my voice like back and forth. Learning how to do that is kind of just like clenching my throat just enough so that I get the grit out, and then at the same time sustaining the tension in your diaphragm so that you don't waver too much in like pitch, because like I feel like every slight muscle like relaxation kind of like affects your pitch accuracy a little bit. So keeping those things in mind was like really difficult, but eventually I got really comfortable with it, and now it's just something that I can just like belt on command. I think also figuring out where I wanted the high notes of the song to be. I kept it basically one note away from like my highest comfortable belting note, and I think you hear my highest note in the ad libs of the chorus. I forgot what exactly the ad lib. Good. The falling that's like I wanted to keep that there, so that way that's like the climax of the song, right? So keeping the entire all the choruses kind of just right at the peak of that of my range was kind of intentional, also so that I could just sing it whenever I wanted, because I like singing this song. But it is really taxing.
Chat is asking for a fry scream demo.
It's 12 a.m. Oh my god.
Yeah, do it.
I don't I'd have to
People want it.
oh my god. No, I can't do it. It's everybody's my family's sleeping.
Oh, yeah. You'll just have to imagine
tell
it.
them
Or
that-
actually, you'll just
tell
have
them
to
that people
scream
wanted
the
it.
diagnosis about like 100 times.
You
Yeah. Here, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. That and keeping the doing the sliding, that was also tough. Sliding. Yeah, because I couldn't touch it. Like basically, when you slide in in recordings, you basically just can't touch that at all in Melodyne, because if you make like a slight adjustment to the pitch line, it just throws off the slide entirely. So I had to get that as perfect as possible.
I was thinking about this earlier while you were talking about the diagnosis, and I was thinking about like EP1 and EP2 parallels. It's really funny how like Purple Sunset and the diagnosis kind of parallel each other.
Oh.
If you really think about it. If you kind of think about it, you don't have to think about it that hard. It's because it's about it's like the we were talking about like water and the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And our two conflicting like opinions about water and the ocean, and then how it killed both of us to sing our respective songs.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. I get it now.
And then how it's like how both of them are like sort of like the, I guess, artist pick on each of the EPs.
Oh yeah.
They're really,
Quite something, huh? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
funny how things just kind of fall into place
We
like
always
that.
have like the one popular with the crowd, and then we have the one artist pick, and then we have the one that we forget about.
The one that we forget about.
Stop. The one that we forget about.
What's the one that we forget about from EP2?
At this point, it's probably the BS song.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
old news.
yeah, because no, it's straight up. Okay. Oh wait, actually, I can't say. Never mind.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, would you dare?
BS song is my favorite.
But
Oh, sorry, Kiyomi. I'm so sorry.
no, it's not that because I don't like it. It's because it came out that much earlier. I feel like it's part of a different like era. It wasn't that early, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
No, like I love the BS song. I think the BS song, in my opinion, is probably the best executed like pop song on the EP.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just in terms of how much earlier the BS song grind was and how much like I looped it during
Oh,
that time,
yeah.
I'm personally the other song that I'm absolutely sick of is Super Crush. I don't know if there's
Really?
any Super Crush truthers in chat. I know
I mean,
that
me,
one's
me, 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 me,
popular.
me, 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 me,
Yeah,
me, me,
I
me,
I
me, me.
know.
We have
I cannot stand Super Crush.
Why?
I also can't anymore.
Why?
I
It
You
bears in
have
my
to
ears.
understand, we had the opportunity to loop Super Crush a solid like 3 weeks before it came out.
Yeah, me too.
Blake is just built
Yeah,
different, I
Blake
guess.
is just
I
Blake is
worked on it. I mixed
yeah.
it. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? No one's listened to that song more than me.
Okay,
That's
well,
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 well.
well.
I'm willing to bet you on this.
Really, I think I've listened to the song more than you.
So
No, I'm willing to bet you on
it's
this.
just to
Mm,
say, don't get me wrong, I love all the songs on the EP, but it's also just some of them I just cannot stand, just as a matter of circumstance.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. My whenever I hear Supercross Central, and, like the fact that I still say, "Oh yeah, Super Crush," I like that. Yeah, that's you know, it's the chorus is just branded in my brain, and then also the
Super crush central.
yeah,
All my girls get 'em.
I went out of my
The
way
fact
to
that we're talking about it on a different stream says everything.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's
Super Crush
basically
clears.
it's our apata. Uh,
I like Apata. I don't think Rose doesn't like Apata. I think everybody likes Apata.
that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's not like we don't like Super Crush. It's just like, you know, we're kind of sick of
That's
it.
not the name of the song.
Oh, it's it's not like we don't like Super Crush Central. You're just kind of.
Why can't you get with the program?
Hey, I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in.
I'm tuning into
Super
Super
Crush
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 Central.
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 One
Well
point
played.
0.43 a.m.
It would be crazy if someone
Anyway,
tunes into
yeah.
that like frequency and it's like a military frequency, and then
It's not a real radio frequency, I don't think. I don't think there's like audible.
No, that can't. That's not like a transmissible
Yeah, I don't think so.
frequency.
oh, okay.
Like that's like
Small.
1 hertz.
Yeah, it's way too small.
1.43 hertz.
Oh, I thought it was 1.43 kilohertz.
Maybe.
Well, radio stations are usually like at least in the 2 digits
Oh,
above the point, so I don't think that's an actual.
I thought.
Yeah, I don't think you can that'd just be a tone going
No,
through the
I
air.
know this for a fact because
Uh-huh.
I tried really hard to make it a real radio frequency.
Oh, I
Nothing
see.
hit as hard as just saying 1.43.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
96.7 a.m.
What's that?
True hard bass.
Super Crush. 96.7 a.m. Are you in love?
Rocky
Are
Nation.
you in love?
With like 18 different effects on it.
I can never get the 1.43 line after I keep thinking it's 14.3 a.m.
14.3 a.m.
Wait, that works though. That kind of works. Syllable wise, like I don't know, but hey, 14.3 a.m. That works.
Okay, but are
No,
you
it doesn't,
saying
it
it like
doesn't work.
14.3 or 14.3?
14.3 a.m.
Oh, 1 4. Bloom, are you
Hello,
dyslexic,
Nation. Hello,
mayhaps?
Slate. I don't think that's a song.
Hello, chalking it 1 4
It's
point
a
3.
song.
4.3.
No, like when you hear it, you're not reading it.
Oh, do I have the auditory processing
Well, no,
difficulties?
okay, but that's not called the
Sorry.
Dyslexia?
that.
Sorry.
Do you have dyslexia?
Okay.
That
Anyway, any more questions about the diagnosis, or honestly any other part of the EP, or just
Yeah,
in
what about head
general?
above water?
Head Above Water is being rescheduled to not next week, but the week after next week.
yeah, just in time for Christmas.
Well, no.
It's
Actually, it might be a week of Thanksgiving. Is that the week of Thanksgiving?
next. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, it might be the week of Thanksgiving. Just in time for week of Thanksgiving.
Lorian, do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
We have Canadian Thanksgiving, which is
Is it the
earlier.
same day? Oh.
No, it is in October.
Oh.
I wonder what Canadian turkey tastes like. Is it like
It
Canadian bacon?
tastes like turkey.
I see.
Do you eat the same things as American Thanksgiving?
I don't,
Oh.
but I'm Chinese.
What's Chinese Thanksgiving like?
Just for my family or just in general?
We eat moose and maple syrup. Kiame. Kiame. Moose
Yeah.
are endangered, I thought.
Yeah, what
No,
do you
so-
make, Lorian?
We ride moose to school and live in our
Right.
igloos. No,
I see.
I'm joking.
Wow.
You fooled me.
Well, okay, our family in particular, we try to have a turkey dish in the spirit of Thanksgiving, but none of us really like turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, you should just have
Um,
chicken then.
So instead, we have fish.
Hell yeah.
Wait, that's a Chinese New Year thing.
Well, do you really think Chinese people need an excuse to eat holiday foods?
I mean, no. No, but like, you know.
And hold doors open for our neighbors. Yeah, and we say sorry as they come in the door. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then we have maple cookies as dessert. And then we go outside and
Ride snowmobiles? No,
and
you
then
ride the skidoo?
and then we jump
Skidoo.
jump into icy water.
Yeah.
Right.
Vouch.
In
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Play hockey. Play hockey. I bet Kiame plays hockey.
I don't think Kiame plays hockey.
I bet he does. I bet he's
I
a
can
hockey
see it.
star. Yeah.
Also, the national sport of Canada is not hockey.
It's
What else could it be? They have no other sports there.
It's lacrosse.
Why is it lacrosse? They didn't even invent that.
It's an old
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
uh,
I mean, you don't have to invent a sport for it to be like your sport, you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure like India didn't invent cricket.
lacrosse. Oh. I remember I think the hockey edition is a recent one. Because I remember for the longest time when I was growing up that people would tell it to me as a fun fact that the national sport of Canada wasn't actually hockey.
Wait, Kiame.
I
Korea
don't.
didn't invent League of Legends. League of Legends is the official sport of Korea.
Wait, is it actually?
No way. No actually way.
I can
No,
see it
you're
though. That's
joking. There's no
that
way
would be so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
National sport of Korea.
He's joking.
Oh, Taekwondo. That makes sense. That makes a lot
Oh.
more sense.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah, any
so
more
the diagnosis.
questions? It's going to be two 1.5, 2 weeks until our next stream with Ha, and we likely won't have as much time to yap because there's just so many people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talk to us now.
You
Yeah.
talk to us now while you have the chance.
Yeah.
So speak now or forever hold your peace.
That's our truth. That's our
This is the
truth.
last time you'll ever hear from me.
That's not
No, you're literally gonna have a talking like in
true.
yeah, and how to
First time you'll ever hear from me unscripted.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, we can roll with that one.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, looks like we are wrapped up for the diagnosis. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and listening to us yap about the diagnosis. Thank
I
you
love
all.
yapping.
Love yapping. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all to a lovely, lovely Chalky mates, and we'll see you next time on the
Bye.
Disney
Bye.
Channel. What?
But
On
the week
Chalky.
after next week. Just so we're clear, it's not next week.
Not next
The week
week.
after next
See
week.
you the week after next week on Nickelodeon. Dun, 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 dun.
Chalky FM.
Chalky FM.